Okay, so now we look at the first questions, which is prepare a schedule of equivalent units for stable works. So what is equivalent units? Equivalent units are notional whole units that are equivalent to incomplete units adjusted for their stage of completion. For example, if there are 200 incomplete units in the period, at the end of the period in the process, and there are 75% complete, we need to multiply the units, the incomplete units, which is 200 by 75%, and then we will get 150. Then we apply that to this question, which is for the unit spoil. It's stated in the question that it is 25% complete. So 60,000 multiplied by 25%, we will get 15,000. While for the work in process, it's stated in the question that there are 80% complete. So we need to multiply 20,000 by 80%, then we will got 16,000. So we add all of it, which is the units completed, transferred out, the units spoiled, and the work in process. For the conversion, we will get 251,000, while for the direct material, it is counted without multiplying by the percent, then we will get 300,000. Okay, for second questions, calculate the cost per equivalent unit. So how do we need to find the cost per equivalent units? First, we need to find the total cost. The total cost, which is the beginning work in process and the added cost in the period. And then we divide them by the total equivalent units. So we applied that in the question, which is for the direct material, the total cost to account for 172,500 divided by equivalent units, which is 300,000. We got cost per equivalent units 0.575. While for the conversion, the total cost to account for, which is 100,400 divided by the equivalent units, which is 251,000 that we just calculate before in the first question, we will got 0.40, and then we add them both, we will got total cost per equivalent unit is 975. Okay, so next for the third question, we need to calculate the cost of goods completed and transferred out during April. So for the material, the units 220,000 units multiplied by the equivalent, by the cost per equivalent units, which is 0.575, we will got 126,500. While for the conversion, the units, which is 220,000 units, divide by 0.40 and multiply by 0.40, then we will got 88,000. Then we added them both, we will got 214,500. Okay, for the question number 4, calculate the cost of spoiled units during April. So for the material, the units, which is 60,000 units, multiplied by 0.575, we will got 34,500. While for the conversion, we multiply the units, which is 15,000, by the 0.40. Then we will got 6,000. Then the total, we need to add them both, 34,500 with 6,000, we will got 40,500. Okay, for the question number 5, calculate the cost remaining in the work process inventory. So for the material, the cost remaining is 20,000 units. We multiply them by the cost per equivalent unit 0.575, we will got 11,500. While for the conversion, 16,000 units, the cost remaining in the work in process, multiplied by 0.40, then we will got 6,400. Then we add them both, we will got 17,900. Okay, so question number 6, prepare a journal entry to record the transfer of the cost of goods completed and transferred out during April. So for A, in the debit side, finished goods inventory 255,000, while for the credit side, work in process inventory 255,000. This value we got by add the total value 214,500 with 40,500 that we calculated in question number 3 and 4. While for the spoiled units represent abnormal spoilage, we need to specifically state that the finished goods inventory 240,500, while loss on abnormal spoilage is 40,500 in the debit side. While for the credit side, the work in process inventory, the total of them both, which is 255,000. Lastly, question number 7. How would the production report above be different if the company used FIFO process costing? The production report above would be different if the company used FIFO process costing, because in the report, the new equivalent units completed for the current month would need to be determined by reducing the total equivalent units by the number of equivalent units in the opening work in process inventory. In addition, an assumption has to be made as to whether the spoiled units were commenced in the previous or current period. In this example, as the opening work in process inventory is at the 60% completion stage, and we know that these are all goods units, spoiled units are detected at the 25% stage. Thus, the spoiled units all came from units that started in the current period.